Thank you for joining us at xm.com. This is the Weekly Outlook. I'm Christina Marujos, and joining me today is Mario Sachikiriakos, investment analyst, and we'll be having a look at the week ahead. Now, it's looking like it's going to be a relatively quiet week, Marios, with no central bank meetings and only a handful of data releases. But one of the main themes of the upcoming week will be whether the $1.9 trillion virus relief bill gets passed through Congress, and optimism surrounding that has helped both the U.S. dollar and equities to gain. The question is, how long can both stocks and the greenback climb together?
Hello, Christina. Well, I think that they can continue, at least for now. So let's take a step back. It's been a very long time since the dollar and stock markets were climbing at the same time, but here we are. Now, there's been a shift in dollar dynamics, I believe, ever since the Democrats took control of the US Senate in early January, with the reserve currency now responding positively to promises of massive spending as the brighter outlook for the economy overshadows deficit concerns. Now, the logic behind all of this is that if Congress unleashes all of this spending, that could turbocharge the US recovery, and therefore the Fed could start scaling back its QE program sooner than other major central banks. And of course, the other side of this coin is the mess in Europe. The European economy is struggling because of the never-ending lockdowns. Most of the Eurozone has fallen way behind the global vaccination race, and there isn't any impressive stimulus in the pipeline either to cushion this blow. So I think that the difference in relative economic fortunes, let's say, between Europe and America has become clearer lately, and that has been dragging euro-dollar down. At the same time, we have investors focusing on the rosy outlook for the post-vaccine economy again, and that is also helping stock markets move higher. Now, I think that this new paradigm could continue for now, at least as long as Europe remains in dire straits. I think that we could see the dollar continue to march higher alongside stock markets. Over the longer term, that may not be sustainable, but we may have a good few weeks or even months of this new paradigm.
Now, staying in the U.S., we have CPI inflation data coming up and a speech by Chairman Powell before the prestigious Economic Club of New York this upcoming week. Is either of this likely to impact markets?
I doubt it. Powell has been pretty clear that the economic outlook has improved, Congress is doing its part, but it's too early to be talking about tapering. So I think that's going to be a minor event. Instead, I'm going to be keeping an eye on the inflation data. Lately, we've seen the price components of the ISM PMI surveys shoot higher very substantially. The manufacturing prices paid index of the manufacturing PMI is almost at a decade high, and usually this index leads inflation by a few months. So I think that going forward we are likely to see US inflation pick up pretty substantially, and that could reignite the whole debate about how soon the Fed will start to discuss tapering. And other things equal, that would also argue for the dollar to stay relatively strong for now.
Now, turning to the United Kingdom, we've seen a rather successful vaccine rollout in the UK, and that's given the pound a significant boost. The UK is reporting its GDP figures for the fourth quarter on Friday, a report covering a time where strict lockdowns were in place. So how will the data likely affect the pound?
I don't think it's going to affect it much, to be honest. Everyone knows already that the fourth quarter was terrible for the UK. The first quarter might be equally bad, but investors are looking ahead. They're thinking the UK is leading the advanced economies in the vaccination race. It might be the first economy to defeat the virus, and therefore they're looking ahead to better days. So I don't really expect the data to impact the pound. The main variable, I believe, will be how quickly the pace of the vaccination campaign, whether it continues to be as robust as we've seen in recent weeks. Now, as far as the pound, we've seen very substantial gains lately, especially against the euro. Overall, I think that this trend can continue, but given how much momentum we've seen lately, it could also take a breather in the near term.
Marius, thank you for joining me today. This was the Weekly Outlook. Thanks for watching at xm.com.